Stop the billionaire coup. Elon Musk is literally raiding our government and destroying our country.
I am become meme.
That's the one illegal alien that we have to get rid of.
Meanwhile, Trump and Musk's efforts to expand the power of the executive branch and slash the federal workforce continue.
What they're doing is illegal. He is not a government employee.
300 employees at the National Nuclear Security Administration were fired.
It's a coup.
It's a bunch of unelected billionaires who are ransacking our government.
This really does look like 1933 Germany.
I get a hell yeah for this guy. This is some serious ideology.
You know, Hitler did rule via executive order.
38 executive orders.
Just executive order after executive order. And it's unreal. It's fascism at its heart.
Hi, I'm Hitler. What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with Hitler?
Yeah, Trump for emperor.
We want to downsize government, but make it better.
Stop the fucking billionaires.
He's firing a lot of federal workers. Many of these folks have civil service protection, so these things are against the law.
He's in the IRS today, I hear. He's getting all of our information. They're slashing jobs. They're slashing the Department of Education. They're slashing
infectious disease experts, baby formula inspectors, livestock disease testers,
people in the FBI,
park rangers, bank regulators,
CDC. Is that what Uncle Sam pays you to do with that fucking bird, boy?
That we have.
It's kind of like we're gutting the country from the inside out.
And why? Because they're a big tax break while they destroy the middle class.
They're just trying to destroy our government, to wipe out the power of the people, and to put oligarchs in charge.
We can't roll over anymore. People are rolling over. It's like, no.
Winning. Is winning making it so that tech companies have even higher valuations? Is that winning? It's the valuation of Netflix. I figured it out. That's why we're not winning, is because Netflix stock isn't high enough. That's the only way to win. I want to kill my neighbors and burn them alive and blow up my car, but it's okay because Netflix is worth $3 trillion. I want to cut my off and scramble my brain with fucking fluoride. I'm gonna win because Netflix is worth $3 trillion.
Person who is about to grab their car keys and go to the ATM and take out $3,000, you say what?
You don't need to. Your ATM is safe, your banks are safe, there's enough cash in the financial system, and there is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. We will do whatever we need to do to make sure that there's enough cash in the banking system.
Look, I've been in all these situations. I lost my first 5 jobs I was fired from. I'm here in Miami today. This is where I live. I live in this building right here.
Just show up, folks. You ever known someone that got lucky a lot?
You know what they did? They showed up. You can't get lucky if you don't show up. So suit up and show up. All highly successful people know that they have to show up, and that's what they do.
Welcome to the second public Atlantis 2 meeting. Welcome to season 3. Welcome to the glorious future. Basically, what we're going to be doing in these meetings is just, kind of going over how all the systems that have been established in the world for the past few hundred years, they've been overextended, and they will collapse and reform, and and transfer into whatever level this has been planned. We don't know, but there will be a lot of money and a lot of minds, a lot of power hanging in the balance in free fall, and we can catch some of this and move it in a better direction into the glorious future.
Into the glorious future.
If we play this right.
Yes, dude. Here we are, season 3. Here's the 3,000 more. It's the glorious future, baby. If you ain't here, you're queer. You're missing out.
Yeah. If you've been having any weird synchronicities in your life, as many of us have, that's a sign that we're in season 3 of Atlantis, seminary of the universe, of everything, and that's probably a sign of it, and it's probably
I kind of like to think about it as the glorious future is every day. Every day is the glorious future.
Every
day is leading up to it, because we're in season 3 of 3,000, right? Of 3 million, of 3 eons, of 3 eternities in the glorious future. So what I mean by that is we have to work every day towards the glorious future. So I don't know. That's something I've been thinking about. You gotta be grateful for every day. It's a blessing that you get to work towards making something beautiful. If you're worried about don't be worried about being happy. All right. What about fulfillment? Don't you think fulfillment would be a little bit better than happiness? So, wake up. You might not be happy, but you sure are blessed. All right. Living in a country like this with people like me.
Yeah.
You're blessed.
Yeah, we got a great opportunity here. This is a once in a few hundred years opportunity we get here. And you got to think about, I'm gonna post this as one of the best, some of the best media we find. We'll post in the Atlantis 2 Discord. Zeitgeist. I finally remembered the name of the documentary. Great documentary. I have not finished it, but there's a good part at the beginning where, the intro is a little anecdote of this guy playing Monopoly with his grandma, and he finally gets good enough at Monopoly to beat his grandma and take everything she owns. But at the end, the final lesson is all the pieces go back in the box. They were never his. He was just playing the game. So you got to think about what's the point of playing the game? Is it about having fun playing the game? That's part of it. Just playing the game, getting better at the game, getting the pieces. That's part of it. But if that's the only reason you're playing the game, you might be in the game for the wrong reasons.
Exactly.
And we're here to learn something, to accomplish something.
Exactly.
Here to refine ourselves.
And I heard a great quote. People like to categorize survival as not really living. Just getting by. I like to think of survival as setting the next generation up to do better than you did.
Exactly.
That's what it is. Because I think it's a very destructive outlook in America right now. People are very self-destructive and looking at it as building themselves up. But you can't just build yourself up and leave everyone else behind. Because all the pieces go back in the box. From dust we came, to dust we shall return.
Exactly.
So you gotta open your eyes, cocksuckers. All right, that was a little philosophical for an intro, but what kind of synchronicities you've been seeing?
All right. Well, first off, the Galahad Eridanus videos, which we'll post that in the Discord too. Anthony sent me one of these last year sometime. Very interesting stuff,
Yeah.
Um,
The Braxis video and the money magic
yeah.
are the two I must watch. I think I'll post both of those in the Discord.
Yeah.
Send those out because those are probably the two most important mindsets to bring into the glorious future.
Yeah, it's very interesting stuff, but I hadn't thought of that channel. I mean, I thought of it, but I hadn't visited the channel
Yeah.
in months, and he hasn't posted anything new in a year. And then I was talking about it to somebody at work, and I was like, oh, I should send it to him. So I got on that day, and I saw that the new video had been posted 9 hours ago, and I hadn't even been to the channel in months.
That's crazy.
Anyway, I mean,
I think you just knew. I think your
I felt the
subconscious knew.
disturbance in the force.
Yeah.
And I mean, as I think Young and a bunch of people were saying, you know, you can't really prescribe or like try to find the meaning in these things too much. Or
You'll go crazy.
yeah, that's how you start being schizophrenic and you start thinking the whole universe is revolving around you. But like in the Galahad Eridanus video, which I'll have to watch more and more, I'm not going to try to explain it. He's just talking about trying to get in alignment with things and how, you know, time isn't really moving how we think it is, and that's what's lining up these synchronicities. Because I had a bunch of, what was the other thing? I had a dream where I was like, you know, this is kind of just, it's just kind of interesting. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. I had a dream where I was supposed to shoot all these animals in this bush. They're like all these, I don't know, they're making some sort of problem. So I was in these bushes and but I accidentally shot this fire truck that was driving past. And then the next 2 days that I would walk out of the house, I would immediately see fire trucks within like 5 minutes.
Oh, dang.
What else? I don't know, just kind of just regular stuff like that, but nothing crazy. But
yeah, but it's big enough for you to remember though.
Yeah, you go. There's something going on here with however the world works, and I need to look more into like the cognitive theoretical model of the universe stuff, because I think that's sort of a similar thing he's talking about, where you're both or I almost think about it. I'm not saying that we live in a computer or whatever, but that's just a good I don't know what it is, but that is a good analogy for it, maybe, that you know, you're sort of in the algorithm, and the algorithm, you can't really force it, but the algorithm's going to show you more and more of the stuff you subconsciously focus on. So you're kind of we're collectively causing reality too.
Of course.
It's sort of like you know, your gaming console or whatever. It's like
it's in the network.
Yeah, and
you have the PlayStation Network
simultaneously running the program and creating it.
So it's like we have an account in the human race network. Like we're all, I think at a base level we're all tied to the same, whatever it is, if it's God, the universe, or just karma. It's like we're all tied to it somehow. Like purely because we're all human, and we all have, I don't know if you want to call it spiritual energy, but we do have subconscious energy and like wants and desires. You could say it's purely scientific, like our ego and like our ID. Like Freud says the ID is like the part of our mind that's purely our animalistic desires. I think that like we're all tied by our primitive desires. I don't know that, but it is kind of strange to say out loud, but I do believe in this collective unconscious, especially through those Galahad videos. But
yeah,
It's like, but if you don't, if you want to subscribe to that, you could subscribe to the idea that you do have negative and positive energy in your life that you put out. And so you got to be focused on it. And you got to be focused on how your world changes once you change your energy that you're putting out. Just on a local level. Not Don't even think about the ether, the connectivity, just on like a local level. That goes back to bringing people up. You got to be bringing people up. Once you start bringing people down, you're just bringing yourself down.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, something about like, I don't know. I forget what the like one of the Galahad videos. He said something about 22 and 2 and like like getting into numerology.
Mm-hmm.
But I looked at like when the video was posted and it was 2 years ago. So
Oh,
I've had
I
like
think that's when you sent it to me, and it had like, I was like, because that's the kind of stuff where it's like, I would go, maybe I don't believe some of this stuff, but then it kind of happens to me. And maybe that's just because I'm aware of it and I'm just then seeing it. Like another synchronicity that happened to me was like, I just watched The Big Lebowski. You ever seen that movie?
Yeah, of course.
And then a guy at work quoted it, and he was like, somebody got their car stolen or whatever, and he's like, oh, Vagrant probably just used it as a bathroom or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever the quote is.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I'm just aware of the quote because I just saw the movie. But I think if I heard the quote, I would go, that's from something, even if I didn't know the movie. So it's like, I think it's, it's probably a little bit of both that I'm noticing it because I'm aware of it. But I think there's something to it a little bit.
Well, I like to bring up when people say, I always look at the clock and it's 9/11. Or like they're like, I always like every time I look at the clock, it's 9/11. I'm like, well, what if the attack happened on October 11th? Do you think you would notice all the times you saw 10/11?
Yeah, true.
It's like just the context behind it.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying with that, and that's kind of a different situation.
Yeah, I think we definitely can't make jumps like that, and like I don't know if we should try to be prescribing meaning to everything, but
yeah, it's perfectly fine to notice and to keep, but like I said, you'll go crazy trying to find the meaning in everything.
Yeah.
And like if you try to force, not you specifically, but the listener, if you try to force this kind of stuff, it's just, that's not how it works. You have to flow with the universe, and
exactly.
It'll call you. Don't call it, it'll call you. You know what I mean?
Otherwise, that's what he was talking about in the video. He's like, if you try to force this stuff, that's just chaos magic. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, dude. Then you start getting into Aleister Crowley's different books where he talks about sacrificing young babies.
Yeah.
That's a different set of books.
Which, hey, they're running the world right now, but things might change.
And then
oh, have you ever heard that? Do you know Barbara Bush is Aleister Crowley's daughter?
No, who's Barbara Bush?
George Bush's wife.
Are you serious?
Yeah, a lot of people think that.
Whoa,
that's crazy. I should pull up DuckDuckGo. I don't need this on the.
I know. I just pulled. I immediately looked it up. On
okay. All right. Yeah. All right. You could screen
on
share
Google
if you find something good on it.
It says her dad is Marvin Pierce, but that's just Wikipedia. Let me incriminate myself more on Google.
Yeah.
Barbara Bush.
It's in the last it's in the last one of those Mouthy Buddha Pizzagate videos where they go how Aleister Crowley has these secret kids and they're.
Yeah, I guess I could screenshot this because this photo is kind of hilarious. You're not allowing multiple presenters sharing for this video.
Wait, how do I do that?
Hold on. Let's just pause the recording for a second. All right. So this might be my new profile picture on everything, but so this is Barbara Bush and
Aleister Crowley.
The Great Beast 666 right here.
Yeah.
Dude, this looks like a homunculus. But as far as we all know, as public information says, Barbara Bush's father is Marvin Pierce.
Yeah.
So there's that. But you don't know.
If you watch the last Mouthy Buddha Pizzagate video,
yeah,
Aleister Crowley had a lot of secret kids that are running shit in the government now.
Oh, is that the one you sent me on the one that got taken off of YouTube?
Yeah, probably.
Dude, I want to.
You gotta watch it on like BitChute.
Yeah, I think you sent it to me. I want to like tell people about that, but I don't want to tell them you have to watch it on BitChute.
Yeah.
They're like, But anyways, yeah, Aleister Crowley. When I first started hearing about him, I was like, hey, this is kind of cool, you know. Whoa, do what thou wilt, that shall be the whole of the law. That's fucking sick. But then it just turns into like this kind of more advanced Satanism.
Yeah.
Because and it's a precursor to Satanism, obviously, and it's steeped way more into like actual theological identities. But it's very strange to hear Aleister Crowley say some of the shit he says or write it down.
Yeah.
And then the Book of the Law isn't really that bad. It's not even him talking mainly.
Yeah, it's some sort of Awaius or whatever that.
Anubis? Is it Anubis or is it Horus?
No, it's something else, but it tells him that we're entering the Aeon of Horus.
Yeah, who spoke?
I have the book. Where's it at? I don't know where I have it.
Okay, so you're right. It was Awaius or whatever.
Yeah.
Awas.
I should have the.
Holy shit! But that's something we need to get into is like the Egyptian gods. Those come up in everywhere.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, go back up to that thing. Okay, this is off topic, but that's apparently what Aleister Crowley, like the demon Aleister Crowley saw.
Yeah.
Which kind of looks like a gray a little bit.
Oh, most definitely. Oh,
which is kind of why I would. Like a lot of people are like, oh, aliens, demons, it's the same stuff. It doesn't really matter if it's coming from,
yeah,
another dimension or some far off planet trying to mess with us.
And that's another thing too, especially with that conspiracy theory that aliens built the pyramids, is tying in the Egyptian gods with like extraterrestrials.
Yeah,
but
because that's where
I don't think that has any base at all, but it's something that is like I hear a lot through this kind of stuff. But sorry, what were you saying?
Sorry, something was going on with my computer. Wait. Oh yeah, that's where that whole that's where he channeled whatever that thing was Awaius was when he was in Cairo.
Mm-hmm.
And he went in the pyramids or whatever. I don't think he was in the pyramids when it happened, but
no, him and his wife, they were doing it was still chaos magic. I think they were doing like a chaos magic.
Yeah, they're doing some sort of
rituals within the tombs.
Yeah, then afterward all this stuff happened.
And then I think his wife, it was either like a dream or like just a vision or like they were definitely on drugs though. They're like opiate addicts.
Yeah.
But she said she told him what was going to happen and that he had to stay up from this time to this time and he's going to talk to you pretty much how like the Bible. God's going to talk to you at this time, tell you what to write down.
I don't know if it was God, but yeah,
something. Well, that's what happened to the disciples. God spoke to them. Apparently, I don't want to say this is fact for everybody, but so God was they were writing through, or God was writing through them. So Awaius was kind of writing through.
Yeah, he was
Aleister
like
Crowley,
whatever this thing was.
Yeah,
yeah.
And
it's a weird book though. It's like a lot of it doesn't make sense, but a lot of it does seem a little, kind of prophetic.
I mean, and
Um,
so if you want, and it's perfectly fine to be skeptical about this stuff, but look at how respected Aleister Crowley was throughout history, and what high-end organizations he was able to get himself into,
yeah,
whilst being someone who predominantly was focused on magic rituals and like being in the occult.
yeah.
Like, and who was it? Winston
Being a
Churchill?
perv and doing heroin.
Yeah. Wasn't he with Winston Churchill? Was that him?
Yeah, I think so.
And all like other like it's like, yeah, be skeptical, but also like do the research and make the connections. Like why is someone who practices, I don't know, allegedly says that young male babies are the best for sacrifice?
Yeah.
Why is he allowed to be in close proximity with political members and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And so it makes you think like how much is that real and how much is that is in our government? And it's kind of like LDS. I consider the LDS church to be a cult, like the Mormon cult. Same with Scientology, same with what's the other one? For like Freemasonry is definitely
yeah.
But it's like it's connected politically, all of it. Like LDS, like Utah government, they're all LDS. Like all their senators, representatives, and shit, people from Utah are also highly respected within the LDS church. It's one of the main things you need to be a part of.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think Aleister Crowley too tied in with this idea of like perfectionism and wanting to be like the perfect channeler of this energy. And that's another thing within LDS is like perfection. Like not only through like, I don't know, mainly through your works, but not only that, but as someone who can channel this energy and spread this energy. That's why they're always going on mission trips. It's because you need more people to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But that goes back to the energy. If this organization has all these people who steep 100% of their lives into it, that is a very powerful entity, not only physically, but as of spiritual energy, of putting out ideas and rhetoric. Like, it's very scary. It's very scary to see, like, and that it's to look at the history of it and then look at where it's at now. You'd be terrified that it's a huge deal. With any of this, with any kind of anybody doing magic, anybody doing fucking whatever. But
yeah, because that's the thing. A lot of people wouldn't take this seriously, but I probably wouldn't. But the people who are running things definitely do.
Yeah,
everybody does. Like MAGA, that originally wasn't an acronym. That just meant you were a magician.
Yeah,
and or a witch. And then I don't know.
Something
they're always on some. Same with. I mean, that's not. I guess that's not really in the same lane, but also Doge. That originally wasn't an acronym either. That was just like a helper of the king. Was called the Doge of Venus.
Yeah, and with the naming, with the naming of things is crazy too. Like giving shout outs to the strangest shit. But Doge isn't really bad. That bad. I could look up the seal right now. But
yeah, let's see. Was the highest role of authority within the Republic of Venice.
Yeah, they're voted and elected for life through complex voting process.
Get a picture of the last Doge up there.
This guy?
Yeah.
Wow, that is crazy. This is one of those like Dalmatian tails hanging from his coat. But I don't know. I think you could drive like. I think that lady I was telling you about, the YouTuber who was like abusing her kids. I think she went crazy because I think she. Okay, I want to say it in a way that's not usually as vulgar as or like she kind of lost it trying like seeking perfectionism from herself, and then she like put that energy on her kids because if you notice these Mormon kids are fucking horned up, dude. They're bricked up all day every day, and it's like you can't watch porn, you can't jerk off, you can't have sex, you can't have a girlfriend. And so it's like, well, I'm gonna get married like now. And the only time you can have sex is to have kids. So you have like 6 kids. And you're like, oh fuck, dude. Like this, and then you start questioning, like, is this what I wanted? Or was I just super horny? And if I believe if you don't get enough, like if you're not busting enough nuts, it's storing up all that primal energy. I think in men and in women, if you're not busting nuts, that's primordial that's testosterone, that's pure estrogen flowing through you. You know what I mean? And you got to get that stuff out because it'll start clouding your judgment pretty fast. You start turning into an animal. It's an animalistic mindset.
I don't know. Yeah, I go back and forth with that. The war mode guys, they did like 90 days, you know?
No nuts?
Yes, they were fired up.
Yeah, it gets you fired up. Gets you fired up, but it also clouds your judgment.
Yeah.
You know, we're playing the long game. This is about stratagem. You know what I mean? We're looking at top down view, moving our guys on the table. We're not out there slaughtering.
Yeah.
We're not slaughtering. You know, we're upstairs busting a nut, getting back to the table, saying, how can I optimize this?
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't know. That main thing is you gotta get out of this rhetoric. So I wanted to bring up that this lady right here, the one I was talking to you about, not Brigham Young. Not Brigham Young. We'll get to him in a second, you piece of shit. But Ruby Frankie here. She was the lady who had a YouTube channel called 8 Passengers. Later on, started abusing her children. But this is the one I was like, she needs to be busting more nuts. She can't have all that stored up energy. Fuck, dude, I already lost. I said that and I already lost my point I was trying to make. But
you're in a bad situation, Anthony. You don't have the cards here. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna explain this?
How am I gonna explain this? I don't know. I was moving too fast. I lost what I was saying. I feel like I do that too much. I'll think of something good while I'm talking about something else and then just fucking forget it. Okay, here we go. She was an okay mom, I'd say, as far as like doing stuff for her kids. So she had some hiccups. She had some points where she maybe snapped a little bit, but it didn't really start getting bad until she met this lady right here, Jody Hildebert. So Jody Hildebert, she was a Utah licensed counselor. She was a psychiatrist for a long time, but she lost her license, and there was a ton of people saying that she was like kind of using them kind of for like a sadistic kind of gain. And she started this brand called Connections, and it was supposed to be like it's very strange when this happens too. It's therapy for like LDS women. You know what I mean? So it's like for like women who don't really feel comfortable going to like a male like secular therapist or whatever. And so it's like this is their way to do it. But what it turned into was like it's a cult pretty much, because once you have someone who lost their license as a psychiatrist like spewing rhetoric at you, and shit like that. I think it's very dangerous. And this comes down to your energy as well. If you're very weak-minded, you got a weak spirit, a weak state, people like this person right here, they're waiting for you to slip up and to brush past them. All right. So it's like a front. I want to help you, but once you get close enough to me and allow me to, once you get vulnerable, I'm gonna get what I actually want.
Yeah.
But just
Oh,
a mess.
I forgot. I was supposed to post the link on Instagram. But then I couldn't get logged into it. So I'm gonna notify everybody that it's on Discord. Sorry to interrupt.
It's all good, but yeah, still kind of a broken point, but I did want to bring it up that
No, I get what you're saying.
so her two youngest kids were found chained up in this chick's basement,
Yeah.
and they had like they like tied them down with like chains. They were extremely emaciated. But in Ruby Frankie's diary, she had stated that dude, hopefully I can find her diary. She was like she believed that they were possessed and were saying that they're like demons inside of her children. But
what?
It's so
Why'd
crazy.
you think that?
From that Jody Hildebert person, her whole thing is that you're being attacked. Like that's how she wanted people to feel, like they were being attacked spiritually, and like very like sexist, like men were trying to attack you, men only lust, they don't love type deal. Just very strange shit. But if you're a weak, and her husband believed it, dude, he was like getting cucked by this chick's therapist, and like she made her son talk to her like twice every day. It was crazy, dude. And then she would start living at their house. But there is a documentary on Hulu if anybody wants to go check that out.
Okay.
But
yeah, I think you just can't get too into like you just got to do what you got to do, and
yeah,
you know, just not.
You got to be on the lookout for these types of individuals.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't. I don't know. You start getting into being super strict about that, or being Aleister Crowley and getting on some freak shit. The world ends up in a bad place.
Yeah.
And then,
you can't be striving for perfection.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I just kind of wasted 10 minutes. So,
yeah, that's what podcasting is all about.
Yeah. Speak.
No, that was a good point. No, seriously.
Yeah.
I agree.
But
that's you just gotta. I don't know. You can't try to find too much meaning, and I don't know. I'd have to really think about this to try to say what I'm saying right. But
yeah, you gotta be
really
aware of.
Try to prescribe too much meaning to things. It'd be like, oh, I'm gonna live super strict, or I'm gonna be Aleister Crowley, and if I do the right, you end up trying to figure out what the universe wants you to do, or try and figure out what it's all about. You end up tying your kids up in a basement, or
that is true.
You're
fighting against the universe. I guess that is.
Yeah, you're doing heroin. You're trying to mail order sell your semen in the 1800s.
Yeah,
or that was probably 1900s with Crowley, but
he was trying to
still
sell his semen.
Yeah,
sell his seed.
Anyway.
Yeah, but yeah,
you gotta just focus on.
If anything,
regular life, you can't get too caught up on some. I'm not explaining it right, but that's what Atlantis is about. So just keep it simple. Just do what you got to do. Keep it moving.
I believe it's a PSA to be careful, especially if you are like in any spiritual organization. It's not the only thing that exists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't, yeah. Yeah. Don't get led into a cult, all right? Don't be like that guy's husband who was getting cucked by her therapist.
Yeah.
Like,
wait, what was he doing?
He was allowing, so he didn't get charged with anything. She got charged with both of them got like charged with like 8 counts of child abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And he was there the whole time until like the very end, or like the last year. That was when shit started popping off. Kids were getting tied up and beat and shit. He left before that. But his whole thing, he would get in like a Zoom call. It was like him and a bunch of other men, and they'd pretty much say is like you guys aren't shit. All you guys do is like lust over other women, lust over your wife. You don't really love your wife. You're seeking to destroy your wife or distort her truth, destroy her life. And so it's like fear mongering. Like I'm like making them believe they're the problem so that they'll submit their will to that person. Yeah. If anything, yeah, okay, there's my point. If anything, this is a PSA. You have to be, if you want to be out here in the trenches, you have to be steadfast and unbroken. And it's like, well, I'd never do that. I don't know. But listen, anything could fucking happen. All right. Keep your eyes out. There's people coming at all angles. There's different entities coming at all angles. Keep your eyes open. Don't allow your wife's therapist to cuck you. All right.
Yeah. Here, I think. Yeah. That's it. I think I could have said what I said a lot more simply too. This isn't based in anything, but this is just what I feel like in general. I think God wants things to be simple. You know what I mean? I think you just do the basic stuff. There's not that much to it. Stop asking for there to be something more, you know?
Yeah.
Because what the evil out there is doing is it's copying that, but then it's telling you, it's like focusing on these little imperfections that it wants you just to dive into and fucking live there until you're living in a distorted world, and you're on some weird shit. This is also an analogy I would like to make with, I think Bitcoin is, that's the universe's money. That's godlike. All you got to do, you buy Bitcoin every 4 years. If we buy in late 2026, you hold, that's real money. All this other stuff that's trying to copy it, that's the devil. That's evil. That is making, I think I have it. I have a screenshot of all the terrible stuff that's been happening in crypto on my other computer. So I'll pull it up and read through some of that. But
if it's a meme coin, do not buy it unless you made it. Unless you made it, do not buy a meme coin.
Yes.
And that's hard. That's hardly even evil. That's just you being a silly Billy, falling for these fucking.
I think it is evil,
these incels post these, and you fucking bought it. You are a loser if you buy meme coins.
Yeah. I think
that's the clip right there. If you buy meme coins, then fuck you.
They're just trying to copy the real deal, and they're trying to get you to miss out on the real deal. And they're trying to it is evil. It's gambling. It's a Ponzi scheme. And like there was a guy recently that he loses everything in meme coins, and he's like, if I lose this last $500, he's on live stream. He's like, if I die, turn me into a meme. Live streams his suicide, and then there's a meme coin of him like minutes later. Like that's the level it's gone to.
And that is the most evil thing.
Yeah.
Because
what was the other thing?
also Before
there's like kids threatening to hurt animals and stuff if people don't buy the meme coins they're on.
Yeah, dude.
It's actually evil.
Dude, we are like that. Oh my God, there's so many ways in America, not even in America, in the whole world, that we're starting to like trivialize like human life
Yeah.
a lot more. I hate when people, they're like, dude, that guy's an NPC. That guy's acting like an NPC. I was like, that's another human person.
He has Asperger's, okay?
Yeah, dude, that's an autistic person.
He might be really smart in certain ways.
Yeah, dude, have you ever asked him about Magic the Gathering?
Yeah.
He'll probably fucking rattle you off some crazy shit.
He might.
It's like calling people a non-player character. It's like, dude, they're just here. They're not even a person. That's so evil to me.
Yeah.
Even if people don't realize it, like that's such an evil and hurtful thing to the human race, to the whole humanity.
Yeah.
Like people are losing their humanity left and right. Like I wouldn't be like I say some fucked up shit. All right, I genuinely don't care about too many other people than myself. But I have sympathy and empathy for people. I think we're losing that kind of empathy.
Yeah.
Especially since the population fucking triples every year or some shit.
Yeah.
Nah, definitely not that much. But there's so many people.
Well, it's not just that. It's like also you got to look at.
You can only look at people through a screen most of the time.
Yeah.
Like it's less and less actual human interaction. It's like losing your humanity. And people are, I don't know, I could never get, people are like more comfortable with just being an incel and kind of like being an incel is like being one of the cool guys. Like how could you warp your brain to that fucking standard?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, or it's like, nah, dude, I'm a top dog crypto alpha ultra sigma. All right. I get up at 6 a.m. and I meet a bunch of guys in a parking lot to network and journal.
Yeah.
I drink Pellegrino water and I drive a Subaru WRX and I buy Bitcoin every fucking day and I sell Bitcoin every fucking day. And I'm coming out with a new meme coin this weekend. Everyone needs to buy it. It's
yeah.
Like, you sir are what is wrong with this country.
Yeah.
All right. Give me a guy with some calluses on his fucking hands and a wife and a fucking kid he actually takes care of. Give me that guy. Give me that guy who works in the fucking steel mill, built my fucking building. All right. Those are the real people bringing this country up. All right. And even if you don't want to be a proletarian, don't fucking put people down for being one. Sorry. I don't know where this rant come from, but I'm really just upset with these fucking silly Billy incels trying to say that what they're doing, it's so self-destructive to be this what do they call it, like a finance bro? But what was it?
Because that's what it's about. It's not just about it's not just about doing well, and it's
all the
about
pieces go back in the box.
It's about like beating everyone else and like fucking everybody else over.
How young?
Like most of this stuff is not a net positive. Like most of this financial stuff is not a net positive. It's not going anywhere.
And it's so like this money going through.
Not that this has been a net positive either. Not that like the main Ponzi schemes have and the Federal Reserve has done anybody any better.
Yeah.
Which is I think that's what we should go into next. Maybe.
And this goes past just the silly Billy incels I'm talking about. This is like Amazon buying out houses and complexes in Seattle and then not having enough workers to even fill those places up. It's like just because you're doing well and succeeding doesn't mean that it's good for the culture, doesn't mean it's good for the economy in 5 years. All this drop shipping. Why do you think we have all these tariffs on China and Mexico? Because we're drop shipping fucking 1 million sweaters from China every week and fucking selling them on Temu and Shein.
Yeah.
And was it not Alibaba. Okay, all these like, and it's just so much waste, so many fucking sex toys and fucking clothes and fucking spermicidal lube getting shipped in from China, Indonesia, all these other countries through Amazon. It's like you're supporting a different fucking country and you're supporting the corporation that is like the fucking wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
And it's sitting inside the pen right now. And more of its friends are showing up in different fucking pens.
Yeah.
And they're just waiting for the moment where it's right to be like, all right, let's eat. And I think, and I do have a point and I do have a transition, because with the tariffs, with Doge, the Department of Government Expenditures or whatever, let's, do you still have my screen pulled up?
Yeah, it's on it right now.
Okay, let's look at, first of all, let's look at what we're doing with these departments. All right, this is the first. Okay, ABC News, whatever. Fuck you. I think it's not fuck you. Fuck the listener, if they want to criticize ABC News. But if somebody wants to talk shit about ABC News, I'm not even trying to hear it.
Okay.
Just kidding. All right, I'm getting too fired up. But anyways, Department of Energy, 2,000 people have already been fired, roughly. All right, hold on. Okay, I got way too fired up. It kind of just went away there, and I realized I was going
pause it. I gotta use the bathroom real quick.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So I don't know. I don't really have anything good to say about it yet. Because I don't know. I feel like,
you know, they're fixing everything. I think.
And
I
it's
think
like
they're gonna pay off our trillions of debt with this.
Yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction. I'm just my main thing, and I don't know. It's a step in the right direction as far as is what they want you to believe about it, but the way they're going about it is like it affects a lot of people.
Just really bluntly.
Yeah, that's like, and it's very quick too, to just decide. Especially when there's no prior, at least that I've heard, there's no prior like ideas about this or like stratagem about it.
Well, I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess so, but there's also like, this is always what the conservatives want to do. They just want to cut out excess and like cut out extra government stuff, and then, you know, the other side always just wants to like borrow and spend and have more programs to help people. So there's good stuff on both sides, but yeah, I don't really know. It is, there are a lot of people in the government that are just stealing, you know, using this money, and there's a lot of fraud, but there also is probably a lot of real jobs that are, or there definitely are a lot of real jobs that are being cut.
So like something I was kind of talking about earlier too is China is moving away from like a factory economy and more into like a trade economy. And in doing that, like in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, like especially it's harder for them too, especially when you have to work away from socialism. And like socialism is like a huge party and there, but it's hard for people to adjust to like a different kind of economy. And the way, what was his chairman? What's his name? Mao Zedong. Is that his full name? Mao Zedong.
The current guy or
the old guy?
Oh yeah, Mao.
Yeah, Mao. The way he went about it was like, and obviously like it caused problems and shit for like a lot of people, and especially the people below the poverty line. And he didn't end up doing a lot of good, but moving forward after him, they were able to again kind of screw over people below the poverty line, but later bring them up. So it's like, I don't know enough about economics to say whether this is good or not. My main concern is how it affects Elon's companies. See, because with Twitter, with Twitter, let's see how many people he. 80% of its workforce was laid off, and SpaceX. No, this is the Rickroll file. And with SpaceX, he's noted saying he didn't like the FAA, the Aviation Administration, because they would take so long to approve his rockets to be able to launch. And so it's like an obvious bias.
Yeah, so now he's like, let's just get rid of that.
That's like kind of a scary comment. Is like, the reason I want to be control of government expenditures is because
it'll help me.
Yeah, it'll help my companies. And it's like, you control Twitter, one of the largest social networking things, and then SpaceX, which is literally on that like rivaling NASA to go to the fucking moon or Mars or wherever
well,
we think we're gonna go.
Can't go to the moon, but that's
where we think
that's
we're gonna
for
go
another day, I guess.
Yeah, but especially with like insider trading and lobbying being so prevalent, like why not be skeptical about this guy?
Yeah,
obviously he's a private citizen and he's an entrepreneur, and you want him in control of government expenditures. Like, same with Trump. He was still a businessman. He ran like in his last 4 terms, he ran America like by business standards. And I don't know too much about tariffs, about how much we import and export, but
I honestly,
I don't
think that
blanket
stuff's
tariffs.
gonna happen. I think that was just to scare people and confuse. Like, honestly, a
Yeah.
lot of this stuff and a lot of the narrative, I think, isn't focused on real stuff. I think it's just focused on like that Channel 5 video of the anti-Elon rally. It's like a lot of the people didn't really know what they were talking about. They're just like caught up in the narrative, which is the goal of these people, is to just like get the population confused and
It's like
get them focused in the
fear-mongering.
wrong areas.
Yeah. Subversion. I got hit with the subversion tactics, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I think it's a good thing to like be aware of, but
my main thing is I'm trying to be more present in like a political sense, like in what's going on. I don't want to form like actual views or take any of this too seriously, but I am kind of concerned. You know, at the very least, I'm concerned with what Elon wants to do and what Trump wants to do.
Yeah.
As businessmen, first and foremost, like people who want to make money and obviously want to make the most efficient companies.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I'm gonna pay attention to it. I'm gonna learn what I can from it, and like factor it in. But I'm kind of like, I feel like a lot of it isn't really helpful, and
it's not as real as we make it out to be.
Yeah, and also I just gotta focus on like what helps Atlantis too, what helps us.
Yeah.
You know, and not get caught up in like, was it a Roman salute or was it the Nazi salute? Or like, like people just spending hours analyzing it and shit, figuring out the angles.
That's
What are you doing?
I kind of looked it up once, and I realized after looking up, I was like, does it matter? Like what I think about it?
Yeah, I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
It is weird, and I think I mentioned this before, to like have your maternal family side have a lot of, you know, kind of be supportive of Nazis and then throw that up. But you know, that's all I got. What else is there to say? And how, you know, I'll factor it in.
He has
but
Asperger's.
It's not
He
worth
doesn't know what he's
focusing
doing.
on for too long. I gotta look at the silver price. You know.
Yeah.
There's a big cycle low coming up. We're about to load up in a couple weeks, but we'll cover that in a minute.
True. All right. The fall of American society is inconsequential to the glorious future.
Exactly. Yeah.
Lose or win in America, we're still moving towards the same end. So I want you to share your screen now, and let's get into the real meat and potatoes of our
All right,
economy.
let's do it.
I'm gonna stop my share. Let you take the reins, baby girl.
All right, I'll just let's see, built-in display. All right, I'll just go through the charts first and talk about what I'm seeing, and what I've heard, what I've researched, and then maybe we'll go in deep with some gold research, and yeah. All right, going over to Bitcoin, and I'll pull up. I have Camel Finance's cycle PDF, and I will, maybe I shouldn't, but there's nobody on the Discord, so usually it would cost $20, but I'll see if I can find the file and post it on there for free. But let's see. I have some stuff I'll reference in it. All right, so sorry, I'm not used to using the not used to using it on this computer. Let's see though. All right, this is, I don't really have many of the cycles charted before this year, but let's see. What the hell is going on? All right, I'm gonna go to the hour chart, and I'll go back to full screen. All right, everybody can see this good?
Yep.
All right. Dang it, maybe I should just use the other computer.
Well, I can see it good. I'm pretty sure
I'm gonna
everybody
be on
else.
screen share a lot. Okay, there we go. I'll just pull up 6 months. And so if you're using the cycles, Bitcoin basically has 54 to 66 day daily cycle, which is, if we take our measurement tool, that's just right here, 62 days, and you'll usually get a significant low that'll fall within that range. If you want to see like a good system for cycle trading, you can just find the video on Camel Finance's channel. I won't really go into it too deep here, but right now what is happening, what looks to be happening, and we would use this low here, is now that we've had this very significant reversal out of it, this low right here is what I would use as invalidation and say the bull market's probably over. I don't think it is. I think we have another weekly cycle, if not maybe another 2 weekly cycles of bull market left. So another, at least another few months. And from that, I would expect to see Bitcoin double. Because I'll go out to the year now.
Within the next couple of months?
Yeah. And a double from that 80,000 would be about 160,000. So I'd probably look to take major sells in the 150 to 160,000 range. And then after I sell, I'd be looking to reposition out. Probably late 2026 is where I'd be buying as much as I can, because we have these 4-year cycles denoted with the purple arrows I have here. But then anyway, if we come in, we can basically see that every time we get a weekly low with the blue arrows, and also this purple arrow is a 4-year low, but I should have a blue arrow in there too as a weekly low. So we get we move up, we get a consolidation, and we can see that's about 25,000, moves up to about 50,000, a doubling, and then, from there we have, let's see, what's that? 40,000 moves up to 73,000. From the low here, we have 50,000, moves up to 100,000. So we usually get a double after these consolidations so far in this cycle. It could change, but so far we don't have a reason to really expect anything different. I've only really started using the system in the last year, so this was like the first time I entered was back in July and August last year where I entered, and I'm still holding most of the Bitcoin I bought there. I took a little sell at 100,000, and then I just started rebuying this week. I bought a lot of silver, and I don't have extra money till I get my next paycheck. So otherwise I would have added on, once we started making higher highs and we got above 85,000. And I did signal that I got a small entry in the Discord, but probably this Thursday when I get paid, I'll try to look for a lower high and just enter wherever I can, because 90,000 is still a great price if we got 160,000 on the table, if not higher, in the next year.
Yeah, I came in. So this is a little embarrassing for me to say, but I am a little late to the Bitcoin party.
Hey, if you're getting in, I think in a long-term scale, we're still very early. Like if you look at, let's see if I can pull up.
1 second, I'll be back.
All right. Oh, I should pause it. My bad. There we go.
Yeah. I didn't really start buying Bitcoin until this year. Just get in where you fit in. Buy in the lows. They're pretty apparent. It's not really rocket science.
Yeah.
It's buy low and hold. I'm not really planning on selling anything. There's no reason to sell right now.
Yeah.
There's obvious like peaks and lows and where it's gonna go. And listen to Rowan, because he's better at finding them.
Yeah.
And finding out where to go.
We'll try to keep you updated as best we can, but there's people like Bob Lucas, Camel Finance, that understand this way better than we do, and all those links will be on the Discord, or you can just look them up on YouTube. And I think Bob Lucas, he only buys or sells on a yearly basis. He's not in the weekly charts with the plebs, and he still has made a ridiculous amount of money doing that in the past years. He just has his system down that so much, when most people are watching small time frames and constantly buying in and stopping out. But yeah, this is a great place to buy, I think. And let me go back. And I think really everybody, if you're getting in here now, you're getting in really early. Because if we look at,
I mean, there's only one option. There's only one option you could do if you're not in already. Is you just get in where you fit in. You kind of do have to play those weekly lows and stuff, just so you could set yourself up to be more of a yearly or monthly buyer and seller. I don't know. It's kind of hard to get in the big pond.
Yeah.
I don't know. I definitely need to check out those Camel Finance, do some more research.
Yeah, because if you can roughly get these 4-year cycles, you're going to be increasing what you make in the next years of Bitcoin by exponentially. But still, even if you just bought and hold for the next 20 years, I think you're going to do very well. Because this is the adoption S curve reflects the cumulative rate at which a population adopts a new technology or product. Here's what it looks like relative to Bitcoin. So we're still, maybe we weren't the early adopters, or the innovators, but this is the early majority, and we probably have a ways to go. And we can, let's see. I'm sure there's a better chart with this. I don't think this one shows Bitcoin, but this happens with every new technology. Is it slowly starts and then there's an exponential rise. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, I get what you're saying now.
There's everything else from cars and the internet and refrigerators. That's not on there, but basically all that, everything. So it really has a similar curve. We're early.
Yeah. Bitcoin will become, I guess, more of a necessity.
Yeah.
I think because I don't know. It makes sense. Those cars became more of a necessity. Phones became more of a necessity. Bitcoin will become the same way.
Especially if there's a big debt issue. I'll cover that after I go through all the charts, I guess. But I think a lot of money will be driven there. Yeah. Let's see.
Definitely like a lot of mistrust in like the dollar now.
Yeah.
Not even just now, like people been saying that.
For sure. Well, I'll cover a couple other things with Bitcoin actually. FOMO Finder, this is always a good thing to look at, which we're actually at panic now. We'll see if the chart's down here. It hasn't actually swung to panic, but this basically the FOMO Finder combines the funding rate of futures, premiums, or lack thereof to identify the market's underlying emotion. Greed FOMO signals are used to signal profit-taking opportunities on longs. Panic and capitulation signals are used to take profit on shorts or enter long positions. So that's just, you can use these different tools to kind of see if you're in a good place to buy. Liquidation heat map. This is where there's a lot of Bitcoin supply is going to be freed up, and Bitcoin will generally move in those directions and eventually hit them. We can look at like a 48-hour, like a near-term chart. And
do you ever look at what's going on with like Bitcoin mining?
I don't really.
Yeah,
probably should.
Yeah, I probably should too. I don't know. There's a lot of concerns about it, as far as I know, environmentally, but I don't really know too much past that.
Yeah. Well, eventually it'll be over, pretty much.
Yeah.
There'll be so many halvings, and then there'll basically be no Bitcoin left.
Yeah.
Let's see. We'll just go out to the month. For some reason it's taking a minute. There we go. So we've basically taken all this liquidity below us. I don't know why it's not letting me move this. But most of the liquidity is above us, and I would expect we'll move up maybe past 100,000 before we have another little pullback. But really, in the big picture, it's not much to worry about. And we're just looking to take a lot of profit off at 100,000 or at 150, 160,000, which will probably, let's see, probably be something like this. And then see if it'll still let me draw once I pull this out. Well, I should have I don't have the charts figured out very good on this computer. Let me
That's all
see.
good.
Anyway, somewhere I would like to draw it, but whatever. Somewhere out in, let me just delete this. All right. You know, we'll probably see something out way up. I can't draw that high because I don't know how to work the screen, but up to 160,000 area, and then October will be the next weekly cycle low. Because the green arrows are daily cycle lows, and then we're going to look for a weekly cycle low. October, and another bounce up is likely, maybe make a new all-time high, and then that's likely the last one, and we'll enter a bear market into next year, and then likely start to look at buying later on that year or the next year out at this arrow. Let's see, what else was I going to cover? Liquidity. There was something else, but let's see if I have it pulled up here. I'll go through a couple charts of Bitcoin miners. Let's see. FOMO. Oh, open interest. I should pull that up too, which is basically how much leverage there is in the market. And you'll generally, if you're looking for a move to the upside, you want to see open interest come down a lot, and a lot of people get liquidated, and a lot of leverage come out of the market. A lot of people selling. All right. This is probably going to be another situation where this chart's all funky, but.
All right, so what are we looking at here? It's different.
So this upper section is open interest, or the upper section is Bitcoin. The lower one is open interest.
Okay.
And
what is that exactly?
So it's like all the leverage in the market, all the people are using. It basically just means if you see this go really low, it means a lot of people got taken out of the market, and it's going to set up Bitcoin to move higher. I don't know. Press and hold Ctrl while zooming to maintain chart position. Okay. I should know how to work this better before I come on here. All right, whatever. Anyway, if you want to see someone who knows how to do this, Crypto Cobra covered this a lot in his channel. But yeah, basically before we see a huge, a low form and getting ready to make a big move up, we'll usually see a low come in and open interest.
So that's people coming into the market?
It's people getting taken out of the market if you see a low come in, and then people coming into the market if you're seeing a high down here in this lower chart.
What does that mean, going out and coming in, like buying and selling?
Yeah, it means they're selling. And there's here, I'll just look up definition of open interest. But from my understanding, it's just people who are trading on leverage and options and stuff, and they're getting taken out of the market because there's a price drop in Bitcoin, and a lot of people got cleared out of the market, and Bitcoin's ready to make a move to the upside because the sellers are out for the most part. Open interest is the number of outstanding contracts for derivatives, such as futures or options, that have not been settled. It's a measure of
Okay.
market activity and is used to gauge the strength of price trends. So,
Okay.
and if you likewise, if you're seeing a huge spike in open interest, eventually you're going to see that come down. People get taken out.
Okay.
Um,
For sure.
But now that we've covered Bitcoin, kind of given my base case there, which is
Yeah. What's your closing thoughts on the next couple of months regarding Bitcoin? And we can move on to silver.
Yeah, and I'm really basically I'm just good to buy anywhere in here, and probably unless new information comes out, which I wouldn't really pay attention to news and stuff, but if there's major invalidation or we see below this low in the charts, I might sell, but otherwise I'm targeting 150, 160 to sell some, or probably most, and then maybe see if we get another high out of that to sell it all.
Okay.
And then what I'll probably do is I'll buy a lot of like MSTZ, which is the inverse of MicroStrategy, that's leveraged a little bit, and just look to kind of short Bitcoin and MicroStrategy through that.
Okay.
To the downside, and then I'll look to sell that and start rebuying Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin in likely 2026, 2027. I also bought some XRP this last week, and I did signal that in the or post that in the Discord.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Which I only have I'll disclose it's not a lot of money that I'm putting into Bitcoin. I'm planning just to get up to $1,000 put in Bitcoin, and and maybe put another 100 in XRP.
Yeah,
I have
like
$100 in XRP right now.
Yeah, like with Bitcoin.
So I usually just put percents up and stuff in the Discord, just so if you have less money or more money than you're putting into me, you can use that as a gauge for
each time I've bought Bitcoin's usually only been about like $50 each time, just within those lows. But
yeah,
might bump those numbers up a little bit, or take that extra money and move it into like XRP or silver.
Yeah.
But with the XRP, I feel like you have to be a little bit more like attentive to it, huh? Like
Yeah, it's a little bit more speculative, but I feel like we're gonna see it outperform.
Is it like a more volatile market, or?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know that much about it. Maybe it's evil.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's evil, but what's evil about it? What might
I
be
don't know.
evil
Just
about
that
it?
it's not Bitcoin.
Oh yeah.
But it's the only other coin I'm holding right now, and I like it. I think I would probably
Have you seen
I'd
any like
probably look
real
for $4 or $5 to get hit.
real returns from it?
What is it?
Have you seen any like real returns from it?
Yeah, because I bought back. Where did I buy?
You started off early in it, huh?
Yeah, I only put like $20 in.
Oh.
And I got like $20 to like 50 or 60.
So XRP is kind of like the practice girl for Bitcoin.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But I'm still putting a little bit in, and I expect we probably see it double, get $4 or $5 from. I think we're at $2 right now.
Oh.
But that's optional. Really, I would just focus on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I also am full size in a lot of Bitcoin miners. There's way too much going on in this chart, but I'm not trading MicroStrategy anymore. I feel like it made its top and I made my money in there. I don't know why these charts have been so wonky. I should probably use my other computer.
Is that like a MicroStrategy? Is that like the weekly and daily stuff?
MicroStrategy it's a Bitcoin. It's like a software company, I think. They're basically just the first company to start adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet, or like using their profits to buy Bitcoin. So it's sort of like a Bitcoin
based.
It's just
company.
hype. I don't really know what it is, but I made a lot of money in it.
Nice.
Anyway, this is Riot. I sold all my MicroStrategy, but I did buy a lot of Riot recently. I just don't know why this won't resize. What the fuck? There we go. Alright, I probably have too much going on in this chart, but I've been tracking Riot a lot because I think we're going to see really outsized returns from Bitcoin miners in the next few months. Kemosabe has price targets for Riot at like $44, which would be pretty crazy. Because I was entering this last week. I got in full size at like $10 or something. Down in this area. I think because I bought some higher up, so I think I have an average of like 10 or something. But this is honestly below this median line here on the pitchfork I drew. I think is a great price, around $10, and it might be higher. I'd buy it $12. I'd buy it whatever. I think it goes a lot higher from here.
Okay.
So I have a full size position in Riot and half size in Mara so far. Sorry.
So for someone who doesn't have holdings in either of those, what would be the first steps? Do you think this is something to get into?
Yeah, I would still get into them personally.
Yeah.
Or this is not financial advice. That's what I'm supposed to say. But yeah.
Okay.
I think we see a lot higher as the final stage of the bull market really start to get euphoric and people start to go crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got in half size on Mara this last week, and I think it could go to like 50, and
Yeah. I think I'll stick with the meme coins, but
13 right now. Well, I feel like the meme coins are just scams, and like most of it's over.
No, of course I'm playing.
Yeah, I know. But like Camel's been saying, like, I don't know, that's all hype, and at least Riot and Mara, they're Bitcoin mining companies, so
it directly translates to the gold.
And
gold or
their
Bitcoin.
profits will translate to how well Bitcoin's doing. Like, it's actually, I don't know, it's based.
Is it pretty direct how they correlate?
It's weird. It's not always over a long period of time. Yeah, it is. But
for now, they're just kind of their own thing to focus on.
It's just a good way. Like, if you have a good idea of where the cycles are going, it is a good way to harvest a little extra returns than you would otherwise get. But I mean, if we go to the all-time chart on Mara, you can see it gets pretty euphoric at times. Like this stuff was, we probably won't see that again.
So when you say euphoric, that just means like people
120. What is it?
When you say euphoric, does that just mean like a bunch of people getting hyped and
yeah, basically
into it?
It basically just means the disgusting public that they talk about in Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars.
The proletarians.
Yeah. Or wait, are the? Yeah. They're all getting in basically at the top, and that's gonna be about the end of it. But you're gonna see some crazy prices in there.
Yeah.
Because your mindset, if you're doing this stuff, it should be, I'm gonna have the same attitude when everything's going well as when it isn't. And I'm not, you should be buying when everything's boring, and you should be keeping your mindset as boring as possible when everything else is hyped up.
Are you kind of saying too, like, try not to be so much like outcome dependent?
Yeah. True. That's another thing I would like to focus on is like, if you focus on the process more, the profits and all the other stuff you want, that's gonna come with it. You just gotta focus on the
bigger picture.
Because you could take some risks, you could do some stupid stuff, and you might win, but you're not going to win forever with doing that. You're going to lose eventually.
And you can't get too caught up in the loss.
Yeah,
because
you gotta have a boring system, and you gotta stick with it.
Yeah, definitely. Because I've had my fair share of losses trying to invest.
Yeah,
and like you can't be too outcome dependent. You got to keep it pushing.
And also
in a different kind of sense, yeah.
I mean, those positions that I have on, Bitcoin's different. I feel comfortable holding a lot of Bitcoin, and a lot more comfortable than I do having money in the bank account. As long as if you're holding a lot of Bitcoin, you definitely want to get like a don't hold it on an exchange. I got a little Trezor wallet, so I think in it's like a physical,
so it's
wallet that you'll download your Bitcoin into.
Can we talk about that for a second?
You can personally hold it. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know that much about it. I would just like to be able to hold it myself.
Yeah. So
in 2026, I'll probably put a lot of the stuff I buy onto that.
So a Bitcoin wallet could be like either digital or like on a hard drive or like a thumb drive. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, because I've been kind of interested, maybe, I don't know, having like a Bitcoin wallet like that instead of like, because the way I see it, like buying and trading on Robinhood is different than like actually having the, a wallet or something else to hold it in.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
For sure.
Yeah.
I definitely don't feel comfortable holding stuff on an exchange for very long, and I would go into that with silver and gold too, because there's a lot of interesting stuff happening there. Yeah. But I should clarify with the Mara and the Riot positions. I have it, and I don't know if this is the best system to use. Everybody can use their own system based on how much risk they want to take. But I only do like 10% of my total trading account per stock.
Yeah.
And I would only do 20% per asset class. So if I had $1,000 in it, for example, in a trading account, I'd only do like $100 max per each of those, and $200 $200 total for Bitcoin miners. I wouldn't go over that and just have all my money in one area.
Yeah.
And then once I did
diversifying your assets.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I just use what Camel does and use a 2% stop loss. So if I lost more than $20 in any of those, I would just stop the entire position, and I could re-enter later. That way you make sure you don't do anything stupid and you don't take big losses, because I mean, that's something he really kind of puts in perspective in here, is that, if you take a 1% loss, you only really need a 1% gain to get it back.
Yeah.
And then, once you're taking a 6% loss, you need a 6.4% gain to get it back. Once you take a 20% loss, you need a 25% gain to get it back. And then once you're taking, a 50% loss, you need a 100% gain to get it back.
So it's kind of like locking yourself out of the market. Once you take that huge loss, it's like, well, you're gonna have to work really hard or might not even be able to get back what you lost.
Yeah, it's really unlikely.
I've never, especially with 50 and you have to make 100% back. You're just locked out of the market.
You kind of gotta take your ego out of it and be like, all right, I don't know what's gonna happen here, but you gotta treat it like a system, like a business. That's like, this isn't about me being smart or whatever. It's just about,
it's not get rich quick either.
Yeah.
That goes back to what I was saying about those like our generation of kids getting into finance and shit. Is a lot of it is just trying to get rich quick.
A lot of it's just find a scam. They don't really care
coins,
about
scam.
What
it's not investing. It's like scamming.
Yeah.
And that's
for sure.
But the way you're presenting everything to me is like, it seems very professional and good for the overall culture of, like, I don't know, people investing. They're like, this seems like a pretty That's a good way to go about it.
Yeah, nice.
But instead of like rushing into like all kinds of weirdo shit.
Yeah.
Let's look at some silver. I'm interested to see, and gold too.
All right, I'll pull up gold first, because I mean they're very
They coincide.
very correlated markets. Yeah. And we can see the same thing with gold. You can kind of see it on my charts, but Camel has it in this PDF too. So I don't know why I call it a PDF. I have it printed out, but let's see. Yearly cycles for gold are about every 8 years. So 2000, 2008, 2016, and then we're still early in this yearly cycle since 2023. So the next time we would expect a significant low is, what would that be? 2030, 2031 probably. Anyway, if we zoom in here, I'm definitely looking to buy a lot of gold in the next, well, for me, a lot of gold and silver in the next few weeks, as we're going to see this daily cycle coming in. Daily cycles for gold are about every 22, 28 days. And then weekly cycles is every 22, 26 weeks. The blue arrows are the weekly cycles. But
and that's between like lows.
Yeah, that's where lows are going to come in.
So it looks right there. That's an area of interest.
Yeah. Anyway, this is where I'm looking to buy. It's probably like 2,800 down there.
So within this month, we're gonna have a good
and I would say
position
early
to
this
buy.
month. And I'll probably look to buy a little bit more mining stocks, and then a lot of physical gold and silver. Really what you want to wait for is a breakout of a downtrend, which should probably be this one, I guess. What we'll probably see is like a drive up in here somewhere.
And then, okay. So it's going to go up and then down, or is it going to go down?
A lot of times what we see in a cycle low is like a 2 drives pattern. So you'll see a drive down, and then we'll probably see a little bit up and another drive down into here.
Okay.
And then what you want to see for confirmation is a big uptrend start. But honestly, with this
would it be a good
here, I would feel comfortable just buying at like 2,800, 2,750.
That's kind of what I was thinking, like kind of just wait that drive out until it goes back down into that area you're talking about.
Yeah, and then once we see this line cleared, we know we're probably breaking out to the upside.
Okay. I'm gonna set that on my watch list right now then.
Nice.
Kind of see. What were you saying you wanted to buy at, maybe?
Like
Give me like a range.
Who knows? It might not go lower, but like anywhere near 2,800 would be great. Here, I'll go back to gold really quick. Yeah, what would that be? If we did come back and retest this line, we might get 2,750. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But I'm not too worried about it, because like physical gold, I'm just going to be buying and I'm going to be holding for the next 10 years. And I think we're going to see pretty ridiculous returns just by doing that. Actually, that's not true, but in general, I'm holding long term.
So this is kind of a dumb question, but like, is this chart, does that directly affect like the price of physical gold?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's a really good thing to go into.
Oh, it even says right there, dollars to ounce.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Also, because I think we're gonna see, this is what Camel's been talking about, is that we're gonna see like huge returns on gold, and then when there's probably gonna be a stock market crash. Probably towards the end of this year, 2026, and you'll probably see everything fall a lot, and I would expect we'll see gold and silver fall like 30%. There's going to be a lot of returns in the meantime, but I'll probably look to sell a lot during that time and then reposition after the crash and start buying up gold and silver again there.
Yeah.
That's a ways off, but yeah. All right, I'll go to silver now. I've been tracking silver a little bit better.
So has gold and silver, they've been following the same kind of trends, or what's?
Yeah.
Obviously, they're their own thing, but
I think silver has a lot of catching up to do, and I think it's
Yeah.
been suppressed maybe even more than gold has.
yeah. Does it? I don't know about gold, but I know silver. Like, I guess it doesn't really matter because, but like with technological advancements, silver doesn't really change its position, even stuff like that. Like I heard, like if we're using more silver, it doesn't directly correlate to the price of silver rising or falling. It's not really it's not really locked into supply and demand as much.
I think it should be. I think it's not based on the paper markets. I'll go into that in a second because that's most of what I've been researching the last couple days. But anyway, I wouldn't be surprised if we see from here, if we see a major breakout and we see like $40, $50 this year from where we're at $30. But right now, with silver, this weekly cycle low, I'd like to see a drive down to $30, but really I'd just like to buy anywhere in here. I found a guy here in Bellingham who it seems like is legit that's selling a lot of his silver at spot. So I'm going to try and buy a lot of that in the next week or so. But usually you just go to a silver shop. If anybody is interested in some of that, there's a little more risk buying from an individual instead of a shop, but it'll be a better price, and I'm not going to be able to buy all of it because I think he's selling like 400 ounces.
I know I'm not sure what if there's any shops here in Pocatello. There's probably one in Idaho Falls, but
yeah,
there's just mainly like jewelers and shit here.
Oh,
and it's not really the precious metal market. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd have to go in there and talk to them though and see what they're doing. But I doubt that they have what is it called, a Jonas ounce, a Jonathan ounce,
a Troy ounce?
Yeah, Troy ounce.
Yeah, because that's what you want.
They wouldn't be
I'll
really
go to the coin shop here, and they always have like, you'll be able to get generic rounds like this, and then there's also, they have weird collectible shit which I don't really care about, or like the more expensive bars. Like, just to me anyway, I'm just like, I just want as much silver as I can at the low price.
You don't care if it's like a commemorative Ben Franklin silver coin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, if anybody's going into a silver shop, that's what I'd recommend. Just ask for generic rounds or generic bars.
Yeah.
And they're generally a good price, I think, at a silver shop is just $1 over spot for silver. And maybe like, I don't know what it'll be for gold. I haven't been buying a lot of gold.
I did just think about
10-gram bar they were doing here. It was only like 10 over spot, which is great. But it's probably going to be more than that most places.
Yeah, especially here. I think the only options really, at least in Pocatello, because I know Idaho Falls and Boise definitely has shops, like actual shops, but there's pawn shops here, like a lot of pawn shops. And one that I've even been into, I know they have like silver and shit.
Nice.
But I don't know. It seemed like a really sketchy shop.
Oh.
You know what I mean? There's like a lot of shit. You're like, oh, this is definitely stolen.
Dang.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe that's
But
what you want. But
yeah,
if you're interested in, if
I
you
got
can't
some
find
silver.
any,
Fell off a truck.
yeah, if you can't find any there, I'd
Send me some. Well, do you ever buy any like online?
yeah, for sure.
Uh,
I'm just interested in buying from this guy mostly because it's such a good price, and
yeah.
also because like you can buy online, and get good prices, but they generally want you to pay like if you just pay with your credit card, it's going to be a pretty big premium.
Oh, true.
But
Yeah.
there's certain ways you can pay them it'll be cheaper, and you
Yeah.
can get a better closer to spot price on it.
That's kind of what I'm thinking is like maybe online, probably not. See what physical
Yeah.
sellers I can contact.
I'll
And plus,
look
I
into
haven't
it a
done
little
enough.
bit, and
Yeah.
we'll post it on the Discord and stuff.
Right on. And I'll try to. I'm gonna. So the listeners, be on the lookout. I almost forgot we were talking to the listeners. Be on the lookout. I'm gonna try to post more in the Discord.
Nice.
And I kind of want to take the position as somebody who's like new to this and not really as into stocks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I said, like I'm in the party of the like getting in this year on Bitcoin. So if you're starting up this year, which most people will be,
yeah,
this is definitely a place to be at if you're starting off.
Also, if you're starting off right now, like there's always more opportunities. Like don't get all
don't act like
out. Like you can go light this year and just wait for 2026, 2027. There's going to be more opportunities. This is a great opportunity, I think, to buy silver, and I should probably get the rhetoric going on that, because this might be one of your last chances, I feel like, to buy silver at around $30. Not that I think we're going to be going. There's going to be great opportunities to buy in the coming years too, because Camel has insane targets, which I think makes sense. And let's see, I'll go into that more in a minute. I guess that's all we really needed to look at in the charts was silver, gold. We can look at the stock market. I really haven't done that much. Oh, also, I have been buying some. Here, we'll just go look at the stock market really quick, because it doesn't happen often, but it can happen where you'll see stocks, Bitcoin, gold all run at the same time, and that will probably happen over the next little bit. I haven't really done as much analysis on the stock market. I have some positions in SQ or in QQQ and SPXL, but I haven't really done that much analysis there.
Yeah. I'm just pretty much holding on like my long term, like the ETFs and shit.
Nice.
For more of like that's always worked out for me too. Is like I know a lot of people are against like IRAs and stuff, and it might be something to just hold on to for right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take anything out.
Here, I gotta use the bathroom really quick then.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
That's all.
All right, there we go. We're back.
On the IRA front, there is like you hear people say in the news like, oh, the price of the dollar is going down, yada yada yada, like, and then people even saying things about gold, and it's like obviously when you look at it, you can put yourself in a position to make actual money. So I would say just hold off. Definitely don't freak out and start selling or taking money out of your IRAs just yet.
Yeah.
But
and I wouldn't expect to see like a lot of the problems I'm talking about will happen over years, not right now, but
yeah, definitely.
Actually in the near term, the dollar's going up, and it has been for some time. But obviously,
and it's like look further down the timeline, because a lot of what people are saying is it's not like tomorrow things are gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
So it's like don't have that mindset where this is like a couple of week camp or a couple of month transition. This is like the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Setting yourself up. So don't get too caught in these traps, this small-minded thinking or small view thinking.
Yeah.
That's the only advice I could say.
I will say, and now one thing I would recommend people look into is like Brent Johnson and all the, his theory on like the dollar milkshake. Because like right now it looks like the dollar's going up and it looks like it'll probably continue to head up. And it looks like, the crash will probably be deflationary, actually. Kind of opposite of what people expect. But that's really just because like the dollar is performing well relative to other currencies. Basically what's going to happen is likely before there is a serious debt issue and before all this money is sucked up into real money like Bitcoin, gold, and silver, is that the dollar is going to go around destroying all these other currencies and basically sucking up all their liquidity into the dollar, making the dollar look like it's strong before there's eventually problems there. Because basically what happens when the US inflates this money is to do trade with it and not be losing, other countries have to inflate their money even worse. And then when that collapses, that money just runs to the dollar.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to go over, or I guess you were talking. What were you talking about? The retirement plans.
I was kind of just saying, hold on, don't get scared by anything some people are saying. Don't fall for these like obvious traps.
Yeah.
Of get rich quick. That's the only point I was trying to make.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm personally not. I don't have a retirement account. I don't plan to. I plan to hide precious metals in Bitcoin wallets. But I don't know. I just feel like, at least in the long term, like ideally you don't want to depend on anybody, especially not the government, as I think people are finding out. Like, oh, I thought a government job would be really safe. Now they're cutting a lot of government jobs.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you look into, and I'll look this up right now just to show it, is average return, because the 401k is just based on the market's return. Average return of 401k is around 5 to 8%, and at some points in history you're losing money. Same with gold and silver. But average annual return on a 401k is around 5 to 8%, which is like great. You're beating inflation by a little bit. Awesome. But this can vary depending on market conditions. So basically, you're just trusting somebody else to manage your money better than you think you can, which makes sense for certain points in history. And if you just want to focus on your work instead of managing your money as much. But 5 to 8% on average. Average annual return, and gold has been around for longer than the 401k. I mean, for a lot of people buying something like Bitcoin, which is similar, and I think it's like getting in on the early stages of gold. Not that, I mean, gold wasn't invented really, but Bitcoin's a similar thing, but since it's more recent, it is more speculative. But anyway, we can look at the average annual return for gold. Depends on the time period being considered, and if you are going through a great period in time, like say the 80s, you don't see gold perform as well. But over the past few thousand years, it's done better than anything. We go to all time, like that's gold. That's if you could have bought gold and, well, okay. What I will go over is it was illegal to have gold in the U.S. for a long time, which I think a lot of people don't know.
No, it was?
Yeah, but Yeah, just say you buy in 75, you're buying for 150 an ounce, and we're at almost 3,000 an ounce now. Yeah, I didn't even know gold was legal for a while until like yesterday. I was researching this stuff.
Why was
But
it illegal?
here, I'll go into it in just a second.
That is crazy.
So let's see. I feel like I found this somewhere. Has gold been a good investment long term? I found some. If you average out like the past 100 years or whatever, I think it's like 12% or something like that. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, looking at the numbers, gold price appreciated from a fixed $35 price basically 100 years ago. No. Well, I should have had this figured out before the episode. I just didn't think of it. But yeah, 1980 to 2023 average return of 4.4%. But if you average it out over like the past 100 years, I think it's like 10. It's more like 10%. So you'd be just as well off, more than likely, and especially in bad economic times otherwise, holding gold. And then you get to physically hold it, and you don't have to wait to use it.
Yeah.
Unless something happens like this. Executive Order 6102. Executive Order 6102 is an executive order signed on April 5th, 1933 by U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, forbidding the hoarding of gold coin, gold bullion, and gold certificates within the continental United States. And gold certificates actually used to be pretty widely used as like money, as this is proof that I hold gold on this piece of paper.
Okay.
Up until then. Now they don't really exist anymore, other than like collectibles.
Kind of like a check.
Yeah, I guess so.
A certificate of your hold. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And the order was made under the authority of the Trading with the Enemy Act of 1917, as amended by the Emergency Banking Act in March 1933. Not that anyone really cares about that, but
was that just to combat like the Great Depression?
Yeah,
it was kind of like fear over the hoarding.
Yeah, the official reason that we did it was apparently because we were on the gold standard at the time, and that's basically when we left the gold standard domestically, and we didn't officially leave it internationally, because we had the Bretton Woods Agreement, and then we leave the gold standard internationally in 71, I think, under Nixon. But yeah, at that time when they made gold hoarding illegal, I think it was up to like $100 of gold you could have, but in large amounts and other than jewelry and collectible coins, you had to turn your gold into the government, because the official reason was that people were hoarding gold and they needed to like stimulate the economy. That's what they told people. Like basically people were hoarding money.
Right.
By hoarding gold, but the actual reason is because the Federal Reserve, which is like since they were on the gold standard, they were allowed to print money, but they needed a 40% backing of gold to do so. So they were allowed to print Federal Reserve notes, which, like, these are Federal Reserve notes. But they needed a 40% backing of gold, and by the late 20s, they'd almost run out of the backing of gold needed to print more money. So what they did, because the Treasury, there's like the Treasury, which is a government, which is part of the government.
Yeah.
But the Federal Reserve isn't. It's basically the government's bank, but it's like a quasi-government organization, but it's pretty much private. Like the seven members of the Federal Reserve Open Market Committee, they're government employees, but the banks themselves, the Federal Reserve banks and the employees, it's all private. And wait, where was I going? Okay, so anyway, what they basically did, because they wanted to print more money because they were in the Depression, and the critics of turning all the gold in were like, this is immoral and it should be, illegal because of the Gold Standard Act of 1900. And people were like, this is going to lead to inflation of supply and credit of currency, which is true, and it's what happened. And it got even more extreme since then. But yeah, basically what they did is they took all the gold, and the gold was owned by the Treasury, and they gave gold certificates to the Federal Reserve, and then the Federal Reserve could print more money. But also what they did was they revalued it. So they paid people $20 an ounce for the gold that the public turned in, and then they sold it to the Federal Reserve for $35 an ounce. And then the Federal Reserve printed a bunch of money based on that. And somewhere in between then, gold was revalued to $42 an ounce. But since then, it hasn't been revalued by the Federal Reserve. And the Treasury hasn't had them do that. And, now we're at almost 3,000 an ounce.
Dang.
And the government hasn't accounted for the price change in gold, which is something people are talking about more and more. Because if they did account for that, all of a sudden the government would have like an extra $800 billion.
Yeah.
But let's see, you can go to the Federal Reserve website, and it says the Federal Reserve does not own gold. The Gold Reserve Act of 1934 required the Federal Reserve System to transfer ownership of all its gold to the Department of the Treasury. In exchange, the Secretary of the Treasury issued gold certificates to the Federal Reserve for the amount of gold transferred at the then applicable statutory price for gold held by the Treasury. Gold certificates are denominated in US dollars. The value is based on the statutory price for gold at the time the certificates are issued. Gold certificates do not give the Federal Reserve any right to redeem the certificates for gold. The statutory price of gold is set by law. It does not fluctuate with the market of gold and has been constant at $42, or $42.02, or $42.2222 per fine troy ounce since 1973. So 1973 they revalued gold from 35 to 42, and they allowed people to own it again. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of that made sense, but
no, it did. It's just, it's kind of strange.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it really is. And
something I didn't know about. It's like crazy.
Yeah, limitations on gold were repealed by Gerald Ford after Nixon in 1974. But yeah, and that's also another thing to take note of. Let's see. If we go back to $1 from like 100 years ago, series of 1929, you can see it says redeemable in lawful money of the United States at United States Treasury or at the bank of issue. So that basically means you could exchange it for gold.
Yeah.
Or silver. Yeah.
Crazy.
And then, on a new dollars, it doesn't say that. What it does say this note is, well, people know what it says, but you know, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. So this isn't real money anymore. It's just debt.
Yeah. That's funny. That's a funny way to put it.
Yeah. And then if there's eventually a debt issue where people don't trust the debt anymore, and especially countries don't trust the debt anymore, like China, which has been selling off its U.S. debt, its treasuries, or it's, you know, the bonds, the cash, it's all Federal Reserve debt or U.S. debt. And if people start selling that off, countries start selling that off, and they start buying gold, and then there's a problem with U.S. debt and nobody wants it anymore, people are really going to start running to the opposite of debt, which is real hard money like silver, gold, and Bitcoin that you can physically hold. That's the idea anyway. But who knows? The other thing to go into is that a lot of people now are thinking that the U.S. may actually revalue that gold for the first time since 1974, whenever that was, from $42 to $2,800 or wherever we're at, which would really let people know that like gold still has a lot of meaning.
Yeah.
And we'd probably see a lot of price increase from there. You know, Camel's been talking about like in the next 10 years, he thinks we'll see like 10,000 an ounce at least, and probably into the hundreds per ounce per silver with silver, which would make sense if all that liquidity starts to get sucked up into places like that.
Yeah. Dang, dude. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, like how a lot of people write gold off and say that it's failing and it's not
a boomer metal.
Yeah.
When it's like outperformed most retirement accounts and stuff.
Yeah. Definitely gold is underrated.
Yeah.
Precious metal.
The other thing I would go over that's been happening recently is, because people always used to say like, dang, the price of precious metals is being suppressed by the banks and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really understand how this was happening, but basically the price has been suppressed by the paper market. Like, what's been happening recently, and it's probably one of those instances where like, oh, a couple banks fail and they patch it up, they fix it, and then you have a big crash years later. And we've kind of seen this happen in the gold market recently, where like the RBA, Australia's Reserve Bank, which all these countries have their gold stored in like London, or like the US has a lot of it. I don't know if the US has other countries' gold, actually. I should look into that. But a lot of countries have their gold stored in London for like doing trade and stuff. But Australia went in to audit the gold, and a lot of it was like fake, or it wasn't there.
Funny.
And basically what's going on is all of this gold, similar with like the ETFs, like, and I still own a lot of Nugget, a lot of AGQ, just because then I don't have premiums, and I can easily, sell and buy it, trade it whenever I want to, which is nice. So there's definitely upsides to owning gold or gold miners in an ETF. And there actually might not be anything wrong with owning like a mining stock. But if say you're holding GLD, which is just a gold ETF of like backed by gold bars held in London, those physical ounces have been lent out many, many times over. Some people think it's like an average of like 124, which I don't know if that's true. That'd be crazy. But those ounces have been lent out many times over to basically have the appearance, and they've done this with silver too, that there's way more gold and silver in the world than there actually is.
Yeah.
And if people start to realize that and people start to rush to buy physical, and all of a sudden the physical price is way over what the spot price is, what the paper trading price is, then you're going to see, you might see real crazy price increases in precious metals up to what the price actually should be. I don't know if that makes sense, but
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Basically, I'm not against owning gold or silver on the stock market. It's just not. There might be serious problems with the paper gold and silver markets in the future.
there's like there's just disadvantages to it over like the advantages of owning physical. It sounds like it's outweigh the volatility of like stocks.
Yeah.
Seems like, but that makes that like obviously because it's you can hold it. And it's yours to have.
Yeah.
Um,
And also, like Western countries, they just haven't really viewed precious metals recently or in recent history as, this is real money that you hold. They've more viewed it as a hedge or a financial asset, whereas, Eastern countries are building up their supplies of it, and they're viewing it as like, this is real money. We hold this forever.
Exactly.
And if the U.S., decides to revalue gold. Anyway, basically there's a lot of reasons to think that in the next decade we're gonna see gold and silver significantly revalued, and physical gold and silver are really gonna be the place to be. I'm sure there was a way I could have put that more concisely, but
I mean, yeah, but it makes sense what you're saying.
this is a real deal,
Yeah.
This is
legit.
what counts. Anyway, this is what Atlantis 2 will be built on.
Nice. But hell yeah, dude. I think with that's a good place to end it.
All right.
Got a good amount of financial advice, good amount of spiritual advice.
Yeah. Also, if they didn't have the Federal Reserve and they weren't allowed to just print money like this, I feel like there wouldn't be a lot of these major problems.
Yeah.
If you just kept the money tied to something real, you wouldn't be allowed to do anything crazy.
Right. But yeah.
All right.
It's the way she goes.
That probably wasn't a regular podcast. I was kind of all over the place explaining that, but
no, it's all right because
this is a Congress meeting. It's just supposed to be informational discussion. We're trying to
like I went off on a kind of a bit of a tangent with some other shit, but we came back to the finance. We went hard.
Yeah.
I think we gave the viewers a long one. All right, they should feel blessed.
Yeah.
They could listen to this shit for hours. Because we recorded for like 3 hours now.
All right, hell yeah.
It seems like.
All right, maybe we'll have a new episode in the next couple weeks. That'll be a little bit, a little bit more calm and focused. But this is a Congress meeting. This is about, big shit is going to be going down in the next.
Yeah.
In the next.
You can't summarize the future. You can't summarize glorious future. This is season 3 premiere.
Yeah, we got millions, billions of dollars to make to build Atlantis 2 in the next few years. So,
yeah, dude. It's like that's our new thing too. It's like I got millions of dollars to make, bitch. Why would I be worried about that?
Yeah, I heard on War Mode we're going to war with China in 2027. So I'm not. We got to be ready to buy some boats. Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
All right.
To the viewer, stay safe.
Welcome to season 3. This is how this shit goes now.
Yeah. to the viewers, stay safe out there, make the right decisions, think long term, and don't let your happiness be affected by the outcome of things. Stay victorious, stay steadfast. All right.
There we go. Welcome to the glorious future.
Welcome, season 3.
Bam.